Good morning, everybody. It's another morning, Saturday morning. I'm here working on the tractor. I talked about drilling out and retapping those lug bolt holes. I'm in the middle of doing that. I'm going to tap them out for this bigger size lug nut. You can see the difference here in the sizes. The little one here was on this side, and the other side's got the bigger lug nuts. I don't know why there's two different sizes on this tractor. Granddad has evidently put a different hub on this at one time or another, and it come with bigger lug nuts. But we're going to switch it out so a guy can grab one socket and it will take all the lug nuts loose. So we're going to set you here while I'm doing this. I'm just doing it while the tire's on it. Or I should say the wheels on it. I'm just using a 3/8 socket extension turned around backwards so I can reach in there. The handle was going to hit on the bearing cover cap. There we go. And I can take that last lug nut out off. And we will get the rest of these drilled out so we can tap them. We'll start at the very bottom. I got some new lug nuts here. I painted them yellow to match, and we will put those in. I'm going to slip a paper towel over them to see if I can hopefully keep from messing up the paint on them. Maybe it'll make it last a little longer. I don't know. I don't think that's going to work. I don't think it's going to work. Oh, well, because it's not the right size socket. There we go. Oh, still messed them up. Oh well. We tried. It looks better than nothing, I guess. I'm gonna back this one out and put a new one in on this side, just so that it's all on one side. There. Now we just got 4 more to go. I apologize for no music in the background. I know I might be boring sometimes because I'm not keeping you entertained. My last video that I put out was hauling my second load of tea mix down to El Paso. I finally got a message from YouTube that if my channel ever monetized, they were gonna have problems with my videos. So I punched the button on that and let them remove the music from that video, which in my opinion is gonna make for a very boring video because there's a whole lot of time there just driving down the road with absolutely no sound going on at all other than listening to my truck, which I would find very boring myself. So I guess I won't be playing any music. And guys, as far as putting edited music onto it, I don't have a problem with it. I mean, I do, but I'm learning this editing stuff, and I'm using a new program called what is it called? Adobe Premiere Pro, and I'm having to learn this stuff all over again from another program that I was using. And I haven't learned how to put the music on yet, or even go search for it. And then the next problem I have is how many hours do I have to invest in finding a song that I do like? I don't have time for all that stuff, guys. So I guess you're gonna have to listen to me talk. And I'm not a very talkative person. There's 3. I guess I can talk about my keto diet. I just recently did a 5-day fast. I'm a little bit discouraged, but oh well. You would think after 5 days of no food that there would be some weight loss. I got on the scales the next day and absolutely no change at all. 5 days not eating anything, and I still weigh the same. What the heck? But that is one thing about the human body and weight loss. Sometimes it just does strange things. I'm watching a new YouTube channel now called Ground Beef Chief. He's been on YouTube for about a year now. This guy is 32 years old. His name's Mike. He is a truck driver, or was a truck driver. He's still a truck driver. He was driving, doing teamwork, driving for FedEx between California and I think Ohio or Pennsylvania or something like that. And this dude stands 6 foot 5 inches tall, and he got up to weighing 650 pounds. And he decided to do the not the, what's it called, not the keto diet. It's virtually the same process goes on inside your body. He's doing a diet similar to mine. It's where you just eat all meat, carnivore diet. He's doing that. And he's down to, this last video, I haven't seen all of his videos yet, but this last one, he's down just below 500 pounds now. He's lost 155 pounds. So I'm watching him, and he's had the same issues, plateaus where he quits losing weight for a while. And he come to an issue where eating cheese, which on the keto diet, there's only one cheese, from my understanding, that's okay on the keto diet, and that's cheddar cheese, because it's got all the good fats in it. But he was having issues even with cheddar cheese, and so he just knocked the cheese out of his diet, and he started losing weight again. So I decided I'm gonna knock cheese out of my diet. I guess you might say I'm gonna do carnivore for a while. I know I didn't get all the way through that. I'm talking, and that's the thing about talking and me mechanicking. Sometimes I lose track of where I'm at here. I know it didn't go all the way through, so I'm gonna start over here and make sure it went all the way through. So I'm gonna knock cheese out of my diet here for a month and see if that breaks my plateau and I go back to losing. I'm right at that stage where I'm fixing to cross the 200 barrier, and that's a pretty good landmark for me. And it's a landmark I was honestly hoping not to miss. If you look at it like driving down the road, I mean, if I miss that, which is fine, not a big deal, but it's like crossing the state line and you didn't, for whatever reason, you were daydreaming, and the next thing you know, you're 15 miles south of the state line. Where'd that go to, you know? So, but whatever. As long as I get the weight off, that's all that's important. Okay, we're all the way through now. And since I'm talking to the camera, I got one other little thing I want to say. It's not a little thing neither. And I don't know when the best time it is to talk about this stuff, but I'm not gonna bullshit nobody. I know I have some mental health issues going on. And it all pretty much stems back to my granddad's murder. If you've read my channel description, you'll know you've read that in there. And here's a reason that affects me so much. I feel like I have guilt over that because I feel like I didn't do enough to stop that from happening. I knew it was going to happen. My granddad's murder happened in 2008. Well, in the summer of 2007, our local wheat harvest takes place at the end of June, first part of July. Generally, we are in the middle of wheat harvest on the 4th of July, or just before, or just after, right around that time. Well, during that time of the year of 2007, I was helping them, and my uncle and I were out in the field early that morning, 7 o'clock in the morning, 7:30. We were out there servicing the combines, and my uncle come up to me and told me I needed to convince my mother from not coming out there to the farm anymore. And the reason that is because he's living there in the farmhouse with the grandparents, and he's, you know, I don't know if he is physically being mean to them. He definitely was verbally being mean to them, and he was trying to manipulate them. And Grandma was easily manipulated because she had dementia going on. Granddad was still sharp and with it, and he wasn't able to manipulate my grandpa the way he was my grandma. And he didn't like my mom coming around because that was ruining his whole game plan. He was trying to get that whole farm for himself. And, you know, there was only 2 kids in that family, him and my mom. And one might argue, well, you know, my mom didn't want nothing to do with farming. And you know, you would think that the son would, but there's more history there than what you all know. I plan on telling you some of that history. And once you hear the full story of all that, you'll understand. So just know that there's stories coming. But Yeah, he was trying to convince me on how to keep my mom away from my grandparents. Not just coming out to the farm. He wanted her to stay away from her mom and dad. And he told me he had everything in the palm of his hands, and it would be a shame if Grandpa met his demise. Well, he threatened me with Granddad's life right there. And I've known my uncle ever since I was just a little bitty baby, and I know how he is, and I knew right then he was not just fucking full of talk. Excuse my French. I was tuned in on him, and I knew it was gonna happen. It was a matter of time. And I told my brother, who was working in law enforcement in another county, I told my mom and dad. There was 4 of us that knew about it, and we still didn't get nothing done. And this affects me even more than just that, because there's another twist to this story that I haven't told anybody outside my immediate family. My mom and dad knows, my brother knows, my wife especially knows, and it's thanks to her that I didn't go through with what I was going to do. But I didn't go talk to law enforcement because I didn't feel it was going to do any good. They would have obviously come out and talked with Granddad, and then Granddad would have been mad at me for interfering with him and David's business, and David would have simply denied that he had even said any of that. It was just me and him out there in the field, out in the middle of nowhere. He would have he is a compulsive liar, and he would have denied that. And then it would have driven a wedge between me and my grandpa. I knew that going into it, and it's the whole reason I didn't go any further than the immediate family that I had already told about. I didn't think there was anything I could do legally to prevent anything from happening. So, I lost faith for a short while. I lost faith in God, and I had planned on murdering my uncle. I bought a getaway car. I told my wife initially about my idea, and then she blew that all off, thinking I was just talking, until one day I brought this car home, and she saw me working on it out in the garage and asked what that was about. So I told her, and she went to talking to me, and she talked me out of it. Thank God. So, yeah. Doing stuff like this, wrenching on this tractor, working on dune buggies, it keeps my mind off of it. I guess except when my mind is on it, like now. But I've had this going on inside my head. Shit, for 19 years now. It's been 20 years. It's 2026. That happened in 2018. Come on, start. Can't get this one to start. Bitch. So, friends and family that's listening to this, I apologize for the cuss words, but I'm not in frame of mind to really care right now. Come on. You guys want a little taste of what it was like with my dad? And this is my dad right here, fixing to cuss a storm up. Come on, you pile of crap. Start. There it grabbed. So, my granddad was different than my dad in the sense that he was also a veteran of World War II. My dad was a veteran of Vietnam. My dad would tell all of his horrible stories to me and my brother. I grew up listening to them all. I've heard it all. I've heard the worst. But Granddad never told his stories. And growing up as a kid, I guess I initially thought it was because he didn't have no experiences, nothing worth talking about. Well, after Granddad passed away, I was at another family member's funeral, and my great uncle Jack come up to me one day. He is a brother to my grandpa. He served in the Korean War. And I guess it turns out him and my grandpa changed stories, but they didn't tell stories to anyone else. Well, my great uncle Jack comes up to me and says, "Wade, I got a story to tell you." And my granddad served on a B-17 bomber. He trained in the Army Air Corps as a pilot. And he worked his way all the way up to a B-17 bomber. And they trained him on how to fly a B-17 bomber. Then they came to him one day, or he got a letter or something. I don't know how they did it, but they basically said they had too many pilots and asked him if he would be okay with being a gunner instead of a pilot. And that really made him mad, but he decided if he told them no, he wouldn't get to stay up in the air. And he wanted to stay in the plane didn't matter if he was a pilot or not, he wanted to stay up in the air. So he said yes, and they made him a gunner. I think it was a side gunner. I don't remember if it was the left side or the right side. Maybe it was just any position, I don't know. They made him a gunner. Anyways, the story is they were on a mission. They had taken so much shrapnel. It had killed everybody back there but him. So he decided to go forward and tell the pilot and co-pilot that everybody back there was dead. When he walked up in the cockpit, he discovered that both the pilot and the co-pilot was dead. so he had been trained on how to fly him. He pulled the pilot out of the seat, took control of the plane, flew it back to England and landed it. And that was a story I'd never heard. It's a goddamn shame that he had to die the way he died. Like I say, I'm sorry for all this. It's my story, and I guess I want to talk about it. I'm going to put one in here to replace one I had borrowed. And there's another one. Okay, there you go. I got all the lug nuts. We'll use the same size socket. Clean my mess up back here on the back side. Guess I can power wash that. Pick up my tools. I need to run over to the parts store and get a filter. And I got one more thing to do to this tractor. I need to put the floor pan on, and I'll bring you all back when I get ready to do that here in a little while. Be right back.